Oops.
Be still and know I am. 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 Inanna, 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 inanna. Be still and know I am. 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 Inanna, 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 Be still and know I am. Be still and know I am. Be still and know I am. Be still. Welcome, everybody. Hi. So today is a quiet, empty day. And so we thought we'd have a quiet, empty kind of conversation or meeting, gathering. And I think it might be useful to look and watch for a level of expectation that something is going to happen or we're going to give you something, because nothing is going to happen and we're not going to give you anything.
Well,
It takes
we're
a lot
going
of
to give
pressure
us
off.
a little of our presence.
Yes, yes, yeah,
As much as we can.
yeah.
She can give you a lot more than I can.
I don't know that I agree with that, but one of my current teachers is Rupert Spira, and I know we've both been using his meditations, and he says the activity of expectation is the activity of suffering. right? The activity of expectation is the activity of suffering. So, so let's start off with a few logistical things. Today we do welcome Diana Lyon as our guest, and she's going to be jumping into this more of the second part of this conversation or this gathering. And Asha will be in San Francisco for 2 weeks. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, or?
Well, my sister and I are both in our late 80s. She's jumping into her 90s this month. And she doesn't like to travel at all. So that means I'm traveling there to say farewell to her, because basically I'm on my way out. So I'm luckily also getting into a goodbye to all the people in San Francisco who are willing to take the trouble to see me. It's very odd to be a healthy, semi-healthy person to be able to say goodbye. I don't know when I'm going out, but I have always felt it was kind of silly to say goodbye when I'm already dead, when I'm alive. So, and also I don't feel bad about dying. It took me a while to realize, oh, but I'm going to lose all these people that I love so much. What do you do about that? And I thought about it a lot, and I realized, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, except to tell everybody, look, it's okay. I mean, it happens to everyone. And so what do? We either believe there's another life afterwards, or that we live forever, or maybe we just drop out, which most of us do every night anyway. You know, some with dreams, some without dreams. But I haven't been a huge dreamer, except for when I was married. that brought forth a lot of things that like to solve themselves. So I'm not so sad about leaving, because it's been life. Just look behind us, the light coming through those windows, or the colors of yellow, or these faces, and this mysterious thing of, for us, we each have two faces, the one that's looking at us and the one that's looking at you. But I mean, what's outside of this window? I mean, really, there's so much to find here on Earth. And I've had, 80, how many years?
86.
I'm on my 86th year. This last week has been probably the most forgetful and dim-minded. So I'm assuming that the progress is speeding up. So I don't want to hurry you back into my life at all, because whatever is in you about me is in you, and will not be in me for a long time, I do not believe. It could be at the most 3 or 4 months. But if I'm like I am now, I don't feel the amount of energy that it takes to pass on what I've learned in my life now. I can feel it deeply inside, but to express it, there's not a lot of energy. So I just wanted to, that's the main thing I wanted to say to those of you who know me and who want to know me, is that basically, although my energy is really soft, it's not as vibrant as it was. It's kind of just reaching out to say hello takes a lot of energy. So it's been really fun, this whole trip that I've been on, because it hasn't had any despair or unhappiness in it, except for those people who I know who feel despair and unhappiness, which I can't ignore, of course. Those of us who have come into this world with a love of other people, you just don't turn it off, and you want everybody to feel okay. But somewhere along this latest path I've been on, where I felt such ecstatic beauty in the whole creation, that I could, invent or perceive or comes through me. I don't know. I just know that basically what was coming out of me, not when my ego was in charge, but when my love, when a kind of unblocked love comes through, and there's nobody home in this body that's talking. I wish I could just we could just all be like this with each other, as well as all the other ways that we are, just open-hearted and ready to let everyone know how wonderful you are. Even if you don't know it, I do. And I know other people who do, who know that you're wonderful, beautiful people. And how we get from there to here is a mystery that I knew how to pass on at some time, but I don't have the energy or the memory to find the right words anymore. I have the thoughts, but I don't have the words. So I just want to tell you how much I love you, and maybe I'll think of something else to say today, but I might not. But I'm going to stay here anyway to have a good time. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the letters. Wow. Super wow.
So you leave for San Francisco, I think later this week or next week, and there'll be 3 major public events. And hopefully you all have seen that in the email that I've sent out, where you could register for those events. Registration is required. If you haven't, I'm going to type in my email address so you can email me and I'll send you the link to register. Give me 1 second here.
There should be some pretty nice stickers.
Yeah. And so 2 of the events I think are inside, and it's
No, they're all outside.
Oh, they're all outside now? Oh, cool. Okay. And Asha, before we came on, you were saying how when you get back from San Francisco, you don't know if you'll have the energy to do another one of these.
That's right.
Yeah. Another one of these.
I
Zoom
might
meetings.
appear, but I don't. I don't feel particularly creative. I never thought I was particularly creative, but now when I look back on my life, I realize it was terrifically creative compared to how it is now, energy-wise and creativity-wise. Lots of love. I hope you can feel it.
Yeah, it's interesting how, as the personality, I don't know what it is, but the personality effaces, the love, just the pure love does shine more brightly, I think.
Oh, one would hope so, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, that's my experience of you right now. So just one more thing about San Francisco. I just saw somebody chatted. This says the times of the events are changing. So check. That's probably best to check with Madura if you have registered for any of those. So I was thinking maybe a meditation. Do you want to lead it or you want me to? I'm happy to.
Why don't you lead it so that, meditation is a way to quiet down your life. To just make your life so still as possible so that you can get close to emptiness. I'll tell you one thing, when I first found the experience of emptiness, it was many years ago. It wasn't when I opened up into complete emptiness. It was when I was in a 5-day, I think, dark retreat with not very much noise in it. And I went into a state that was totally empty, and it was dark. And everything was completely clear, and I felt the emptiness of life, but I didn't feel any of those good feelings that I had thought one would find when there was nothing. And then a few years later, I got this experience of emptiness. And then I started opening up because I had met people who'd given me vocabulary for the emptiness. It never occurred to me that I could have an enlightened experience, a truly enlightened experience. I thought it was like step by step by step by step by step. And so somewhere, I think on the 3.5 day or something, I got into a place of all beauty, all emptiness, all movement, all caring. And this time, I guess I'd done enough reading. When that happens to me, I always think, well, there are those teachers who think that we're going to get it caught in the idea of emptiness and not be able to experience it, which is, of course, what happened to me at that time, probably. Now that I think of it, as basically, I probably just got caught in an idea and wasn't totally surrendered or free at all. Although it felt like I was totally surrendered and free, because that is as far as I could think. Because real freedom doesn't relate necessarily. It doesn't have anything to do with thinking. It has to do with being thoroughly and not stuck in this fleshy seeming body. It's interesting. Touch the flesh on your face now, and then and then look at your body. Which one is real? Neither of them. It's all this amazing life. What can you call it? It's just amazing life is going on, and we're doing it. So I sit here with Latifa. I'm sure you could make people totally crazy by setting up this either or person who's here, Anyway, I just beg you to meditate enough without having to be somebody, without having to be anybody, to allow yourself to fall into the beauty of leaves, the beauty of trees, the beauty of people, the beauty of feet, the beauty of the birds flying outside. And do it enough so that then you can bring it into life that has the beauty of people interacting with or without love, with people knowing each other, with people learning to be deep in this experience of great love that we're all given, but we, for some reason, have barriers to it. Although I think the barriers to torment are harder to bear, but if they're familiar to us and they've gotten stuck somewhere in our being, how can I fix this? 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 Let go, it's okay. So that's the end.
It's a semicolon. I always like to say I'm putting a semicolon, not a period, because I always have something else to say. So I'm going to ring this beautiful bell and see how you can just really allow this pleasantness to wash through you, this beauty, this bell. Hopefully it sounds beautiful on your end, as beautiful as it sounds here. Breathing out any sense of how you feel like you should be or need to be or even want to be. Is surrendering back into this, relaxing back. Seeing how you can actually relax back in your seat, even doesn't have to look like anything, but even if it's just a millimeter, just to take the forward tilt out of your body. Feeling the deliciousness of breath as this gentle tide moves into you. And releases. With each breath in, every cell in your body gets exactly what it needs. Every single cell. And with each breath out, every cell in your body releases just what it doesn't need in this moment. Seeing how you can really invite yourself to experience this as pleasant. Thisness, this isness. There's nowhere you have to go, nothing you have to do, no one you have to be. Feeling the gentleness of the breath, I like to imagine a gentle wave moving up a long, gentle slope. And then releasing back into the ocean. And now with this next inhalation, allow the skin to become a delicate veil through which the air moves all over your body. It moves into the body, all over your back, the top of your head, the bottoms of your feet. And the air moves back out into this vast sea of love through your entire surface of your skin, this delicate veil. Breathing in through the veil, love, gentle, luminous love. And as the love moves into the body, it mixes and mingles with everything seemingly inside of you, seemingly inside of you. And as you exhale, anything that's not yet love moves out into the sea of love, being received by the sea of love. As this love moves into this seeming body, it turns everything it encounters into itself. And as this love moves back out, if there's any morsel in this body that's not yet loved, it moves into the sea of love and is just held gently. And as you breathe in, imagining the warp and the weave of the delicate veil getting wider apart. So the veil begins to lose its shape, its density, its boundaries. And when we go to find the boundary between inside and outside, what is the sea of love and what is inside of me, it's blurred. There is no inside and no outside. Allowing the ease, allowing this to be easy. I'll ring the bell 3 times, and when you can no longer hear the deliciousness of the bell, you might want to invite yourself to open your eyes if they're closed and come back together. From this place, nothing really changes. So now I'd like to invite Diana to join us. And Diana, maybe you know how I can highlight you and maybe you don't, but I'm going to try to figure that out.
So when you hover your cursor over me, although people could just put it in speaker view,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I found you. Mhm.
you could do me and you at the same time though, since I'm going to be speaking with Asha, if you can figure out having both of us.
I don't know if I can do that to myself.
You can go up to the three dots in the corner and pin Diana.
I think that's what she might have done. But
Thank
hi
you.
everyone. So good to be here with you, with all of you, to be in this atmosphere of Asha all together. I was with Asha a few weeks ago with my family in Virginia, in the house where Latifa and Asha are sitting right now, and in the tea house. And when Latifa asked me to come join everyone today, I thought about the tea house and being in the tea house with Asha. And the deep wordless transmission that we shared and that you continue to share. You're sharing it with us today. And I wanted to ask you, Asha, ask you a few questions, if I might. And we'll see what comes from the questions. Can everyone hear me okay? Latifa, it's okay. Okay, thanks, Paige. Thanks. Okay. So Asha, you spoke, you had us do this just now and feel and look at like which one is real. And I wonder if you could speak a little bit to what you see as the role of this physical body in our practice. How do you see this, either right now or in your lifetime of practice? How do you relate to this physical body?
Can you hold on 1 second? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with, there's Diana. Okay, let me get Diana. In 1 second, one more second. I think I've got it figured out. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yay, technology.
Ask the question again, please, Diana.
Yeah. So Asha, how do you see the physical body? What is the role of the physical body in our practice, in this life of practice that we engage in on the path?
Well, the first two words that come to me are oh my God, there's so many words flying at me. There is no role without all of it, right? I mean, as I'm losing my kind of verbal mind, the verbal mind that I can speak with, the one that describes like being a human and has words, I can experience you completely now. But any day I could forget your name, your parents, everything that's going on, because that's what's happening in terms of my brain. And yet there's this other experience which is completely full of being an alive human in a body. I mean, for most of my life, I was trained to be this face talking to other faces, learning lots of information in those faces and some convenient stuff in my body to make my body healthier, but there was no identity. What's happened since the beginning of my opening heart, and then realizing, well, the mind is associated with some kind of mind, but I'm not sure it's restricted. Because I started out thinking it was my head, my thoughts, my this, my that. And when that dropped away, I just stopped thinking about it that way. You know, I couldn't think about myself as exactly separated, but I also couldn't think of myself locked in to what this is that I'm in. I'm not sure whether that answers any question for generally, but for me, it was really the result, like, I guess, of years of meditation and being quiet and having to still my mind, and then having to stop using drugs and to stop using other people to find this deep place that isn't looking anywhere, that's just allowing an unfolding of being. And the miracle of, I mean, forget about tables, chairs, beautiful people, fun and frolic or misery. There's this other thing that's going on all the time, which is just quadrillion, jillion, billion, zillion episodes every minuscule of time and space, and how we get in it and out of it, and how we, you know, how I'm in a place where if I look past you, I look at a garden, you know, with hundreds of thousands of jillions of little beautiful plants growing in their smallest self. And it's so mysterious, you know, so we're so eager to grab it and own it and be part of it. Well, the more you're part of it, the larger it is and the less restricted it is. That's one thing I can say for sure in my experience, is that if I take the limits off of it, there's a lot more going on, even if I'm only living in a tiny spot in a tiny place in the world and not traveling. The amount that's going on in my atmosphere itself for this not my, you know, I mean, because that's what one of our problems is with speaking any kind of language, is how do you let go of holding on to some kind of itness that doesn't exist? It's everywhere, right? And so we're ported into these little paths that we move in, you know, that are just like this, but there's not, you know, and then you get to this place where you don't know, and it's fine. But we are so language dependent, you know, that basically, you know, for instance, when I used to think about humans walking about in tiny little colonies of people, right? And they lived in an invented world that happened through their parents and their parents and their parents, and through everything coming together. Very different than somebody in another world, you know, that's maybe only 100 miles away, but they didn't travel there. But in the last few hundred, well, I don't mean it depending on what it is, you know, it's a short-term thing or a long-term thing, but I mean, we are all so different, and we're all exactly the same. And that's all, I mean, I don't know anything, but basically these words come out of my mouth. And when I really go back into where the words come from, I have no clue. I have no clue. I could claim 100 clues. I could make up 100 clues and have great conversations about them like that. I don't know whether I answered your question or not, but
Of course.
It gave me a lot of fun this morning. I haven't been thinking much, so I do like thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things as your student for this last 19 or 20 years, I feel one of the myriad things has been learning to be at home in this body, really being at home in this body, not this body, which is my, I have that training too, but just to live in this body so fully, with such comfort, ease, being able to breathe into every part of this body, and also not over identify with it at the same time.
Can you speak a little bit more about
Yes,
that?
sure.
I think it's one of the most important teachings for waking up. The pathway to wake up is to know the body well enough to be able to loosen it.
Yeah. Well,
No rush.
yeah. I mean, right now I have a 7-month-old baby, some of you know, and I feel like that's a big part of it. It has been a big part of the path for me at this time. It used to be more through yoga practice, and then the practice this last really 6-7 years has been around child rearing, child birthing, pregnancy after pregnancy, that reality, and letting go of a sense of control of these physical processes that are so embodied, cannot get away from the deep embodied experience of having another human being growing inside your body. So that's been a big teacher for me. And then there's the piece of like the physical sacrifice of it, there's that loosening up there, just like making milk, working to make milk, allowing myself to not identify with pain so much anymore. Like my 7-month-old has 4 teeth coming through right now at the same time, so we're up a lot right now, and I'm doing these strange positions and I wake up in pain, and it's like, it's not, I don't have to identify with it so much anymore, and it's a beautiful teaching. But I can't speak to necessarily how I got there, but I think of being with you, and all of these times of being alongside you as a student, and you cultivating beauty, beautiful environments, but wearing beautiful garments. It's like these raiment that you wear, that are beautiful, that we've all seen. But then we all get to experience at the same time that you love beauty, and that you also love emptiness, and so that is such a teaching of being with beauty and the intoxication of life, which is so fantastic. It's like, I just feel this like flush in my body just thinking about flowers and clothes and and food, and all of the things of this world that are so amazing and intoxicating, sexual intimacy, whatever it is, it's like so rich and alive, and the other side of I was gonna say the other side of the coin, but it's not that, because they're right there with each other, always in this flow of empty presence and intoxication.
Diana, I have to say, they're right here.
Yes.
I told Asha I would take on when somebody says there,
Yes.
here. So
Yes.
it's right here. And thank you. What a beautiful unfolding you just showed. Yes.
Good. Thank you, Asha, for asking me to say something more. Can I ask another question? Is it okay time-wise? Okay.
Perfect.
So Asha, again, when we were together in the tea house, you were sharing some kind of stories and metaphors and symbols that were really working for you right now in this process that you're in. And I wonder if you could speak about any symbols or metaphors that are potent or kind of enriching for you right now.
It's hard to find the words because basically, particularly in the first 3 weeks after I'd had this operation on my brain, I found a total freedom. I mean, an ecstatic freedom that I had no idea even was possible, where the whole heart basically opened up, not to anything. It just opened up. You know, I could put any picture in it, but it was just totally open. And I don't have a visual for it, nor do I have a word for it, because, well, for one thing, the picture of it is just so full of the world now for me. And the world is so beautiful. And the beauty of it is basically what thank you for reminding me, because I haven't thought of it for a while. I'm trying to feed this back into the world. And I think one of the things that's been happening to me is because my memory has been leaving me and I have been feeling a lot weaker. I was beginning to forget that. So anybody who can think of ways to remind me, because it is it's so generous to be part of this spell. I mean, when I say spell, I'm just using the words that come out to me because I don't know what the correct words are. There don't seem to be many in English. I think maybe a lot of languages that have been around for thousands of years have a much more subtle way of getting on these roads to arrival. But the arrival is a verb, just like everything that happens in time and space is a verb. So, and for me, at least, as somebody who's both a mother and a close friend to a lot of people, I'm not ready to leave motherhood or arrival in the world because it's all I know. I don't know afterlife or before life. I just know what's come through. And when I let it come through, it's so much larger than this little teeny body, you know, even though we have so many copies on this little machine doing these weird things that are relatively very new. So that's, I mean, we're in the great unknown, but there's something about the open heart that is beyond anything I've ever known before. And I just would like other people to be able to get into this place that feeds off the energy down here. And then comes up to here, that we don't cut it off. This has nothing to do with your question, but now that I'm at it, I have to answer it. is that basically I was reared, and I think a lot of people still are reared, cutting us off right here, right? I mean, anything that's above the rib is fine, but if you're a woman, forget thinking that you have any control over this. This is about making babies, having babies, making love. And so when your whole being opens up, and you're opened up to this enormous reality that anybody who is a conscious person has available, when you're opened up to it, basically you can be anywhere. But when I'm talking about anywhere, it's kind of talking about here. Here I am in life. Some magic brought me into life, and I'm in life right now. And I know that even if a miracle happens, I'm not going to be in life forever. And I don't know whether life is good or bad outside of life. And I'm not interested in that. So that for me, just that joy of having been able to come here and to experience life in its fullest, with a lot of people around sometimes and with nobody around a lot of the time. It's just, it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to breathe, to be here, to be alive, to have loved, and then to have loved a few people and then more people and then enjoying it, and then taken students and taken some students who didn't know they didn't like me, but then learned to like me. And I watched that happen, and then found that there's this love stuff that isn't, or it's not an activity.
Yeah.
It's a state of being that is just so roundabout. And it is also contrasted with a lot of people who get constricted into, I'm going to be this, and don't try to get in here and open me up. And certainly don't get me caught in the nothing that I got, I've gotten caught in a lot of time. So that's the end of that speech. We can go back to your brilliant statements.
Diana, I'm noticing the time.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you so much. I don't want you to go away yet.
Okay.
But I have a couple of announcements that I want to make, and then I'm going to ask you to maybe lead us in that song we talked about earlier. So even if Asha won't be coming back to these second Tuesday calls, if you join the meeting late, we were saying that this might be the last one that Asha will be at. We'll see, but that's likely. At the end of September, I will begin offering the weekly Tuesday afternoons at 4. I wanted to take the summer off to take a little break. So at the end of September, we'll be starting those again. And also, there's 2 things that are happening that I've been promising for a while now. One is the retreat books are, I think they're printed or being printed as we speak. And simultaneously, do you want to get it?
Yes.
Oh, good. It's so beautiful. And also a website is a number of people, Olga, Georgiana Reed has worked on it, and Asha's daughter Shanti has worked on it. And so there should be a website up, I'm hoping in September, and it's a beautiful website, and that'll be a place where you can buy books and cards and do other things on the website. Here's the book. I love this cover. Let's see. Oh, the sun's on it. If we can maybe tilt it down a little bit.
Let it open.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, pull it back a little bit so it's out of the sun. There, that's, yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. It's so great.
So, and this is the last song.
Yeah, that's better.
I don't know if you can see it on that tiny little screen. But anyway, the song on it, there's a picture on the right and then there's a song on the over left. We'll sing it together.
Yeah, this is the one that
This is the
Diana's gonna help us with.
Okay. Row, row.
Row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Can I say something and then we'll sing it some more? Okay. When Asha first came on the call, when your face first appeared, I thought, oh my gosh, she looks like Lena. Lena looks like her. Like I saw, it was amazing. You look just like Lena. This is Asha's granddaughter. And I thought, and then when you were talking, you said the phrase, I'm on my way out. And I thought, and then we were doing this oceanic meditation. And I thought, right, like we're in this, you could just see you in this state of return and the child coming through, in this state of return. So, and part of, what happens when our minds get loosened up is that we're open to symbols, ideas, things that are more elemental, childhood, and whatever it is. So we're going to sing Row Your Boat a few times together. I was singing it really too high.
Do you want, here, I'll give you a key.
Yeah, let's do that. I have a very high voice, but I know I see my mom on here and I'm thinking, my mom's not going to be able to sing that with me if I sing it that high. So,
Row, row,
row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row,
row your boat
gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. One more time. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Diana, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Latifa. Thank you, Asha.
Thank you so much.
We love you so much.
Thank you so much for making me a happy person. Who could ask for more?
Yeah. Ooh, thank you, everyone.
Endless love.
Thank you.
So we'll take just a few minutes for everybody to say goodbyes. That kind of fun cacophony of love you goodbyes.
And those of you who, I would like to say to any of you who, those of you who have been my students, and particularly those who I've ignored too much, please write me and say, please answer me, because I will, if I die before I answer all of you, which I might do, but I would like to feel that I've written a letter, an actual letter with a stamp on it to each of you who took any initiation with me. That would make me feel good. A thank you note. So let's try it for me, for my benefit. And you can email me a letter. And if I can't make it to send a letter, I will email you one.
I'm gonna
But
send.
I want to send a personal
I'm gonna
hello.
put in.
Asha, are you saying that if we feel that we need it, then you want to do it, or you want to send a letter to all of your Murids?
I would like, certainly if you need it, do it. But no, I want to turn on that part of myself that has so many years cared so much about all of you. You know, it just blows my mind, you know, that anybody would even ask me to guide them. And then that helped me to actually take myself more seriously in being a deep, caring, loving person. So I just want to thank you, but I just don't feel like I can touch you on this machine, you know what? Somehow it just doesn't do the thing. So that's what I'm not gonna be mad at anybody who doesn't write me. That's perfectly reasonable.
I'm not your Murid, Asha, but I love you so much.
So anybody can write me and I'll try to write a whole bunch of letters at the end of.
Our hearts are one heart.
Yes.
So I posted Asha's address in the chat box, and now I'm looking up her email address to make sure I get the current one.
Asha.career.
Oh, that's what it is, at Gmail. So
This was
it's
a choice I didn't want to make.
asha.career@gmail.com, and the address is PO Box 25, Batesville, Virginia, 22923. Thank you for being.
Just want to come and hold your hand, Asha, and just sit with you and hold your hand. That's all I want to do.
Develop a great, what I love is a great, you know, there's always this one, but what I realized I like most,
Uh-huh.
this one like this, and then.
Yeah.
God, I just love so much seeing y'all.
Just put yourself in the screen for a little while.
Um,
You're not gonna make it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Mm.
Asha, I'm going to go spread this love to, I'm going to go see a bunch of women and I'm going to spread that love to them.
Right, and
Love you, Asha.
in September, I will be back here, and I don't know that I think I'm going anywhere, probably the 2 to 5 months at the most. But, you know, I mean, I would love to not be just totally forgotten.
That will not happen.
Not thinking so.
That's not gonna happen.
Oh, that Asha. No.
Okay, so this is the time for the simultaneous "we love you" goodbye time, because I'm going to end the meeting in a few moments.
All right.
I love you.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Love you forever.
A beautiful trip.
I love you. Love you forever.
I love you.
You sound like a bunch of
you.
hungry sheep.